All right, now we'll go ahead and disassemble our pump. What we want to do is remove these 7 bolts. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 around the outside. This right here is our pump assembly. This piece is going to come out with it also, our stator, while this piece, the input shaft, is going to stay in. So we'll take out those bolts first. This is just a 13 millimeter socket on there. Just go ahead and loosen them up before we get in there. Tighten them. And I'm just trying to go around, not loosening on one side first. Just breaking that. That's a tight one. Okay, so we got them all loosened. Making sure. Okay, so we got our 7 bolts. Again, they're all the same size. I'm just taking them out. They all have these little washers on them. We're going to replace these little washers, of course. That should be in your rebuild kit, whatever one you're using. Go ahead and put these on the side. We'll use those. Now there's a pump tool. Looks like this. Basically just a piece of bent metal and a screw sticking through it. And right here on the stator support, there's a groove, I guess you can say. And this piece right here fits into that groove. And then this screw, if we tighten down this screw, what it's going to do is push down on the input shaft, so it's going to pull up the stator. Right? It's going to pull it up with the pump going through. And this is the easiest way to do it, but maybe you don't have this tool. In that case, there's another way to do it. Right? Again, this just tightens down, and then we tighten this, and it's going to pull it up. If you don't have this tool, we could also do it through the front right here. We could put a big screwdriver in, and we could pry the pump out this way. And let me show you where to do the prying, because you want to be careful. You don't want to scratch underneath here. There's a gasket surface, and you never want to scratch that, because if you get bad scratches, you're going to be leaking, of course, not cooling. All right, now to get this pump out, again, the pump's right down here, right? We can see it, the stator shaft here. We're going to pry the pump this direction. Right now, when you're prying, you never want to pry in here. See right in here, this is a gasket surface. You can see the gasket is right there. And also on this side, there's also a gasket. You can see the gaskets right here. This is the pump right here. Right, the pump right here. Pump's going through there. Normally your filter would be sticking in here. You might have a gasket in here also. It's usually orange in color. If you do have it, you want to make sure you pry it out. But be careful prying it out. Don't scratch the surface inside of there. So when you're prying, you could pry like this, but that's a bad idea. The same with this, that's also a bad idea. What you want to do is pry from this end right here. The point being, you don't want to kill the worm tracks, casing, whatever you want to call it. It's very important we don't get any scratches or bends or whatever. So if you're going to use the prying method, not the tool method that I'm going to show you, what you want to do is pry from this direction, right? Again, putting your pressure on this side piece as low as you can get. And the same thing on this side. Don't go in here, don't go here, don't go anywhere like that. What you want to do is get inside here by the shifter linkage, put your screwdriver deep, and pry in this direction, putting force there. And again, you're not going to damage the gasket surface, and take it easy with it, right? What you want to do is pry and pull, right? So pry and pull, right? And pulling in this direction. And be careful and be gentle, and eventually it'll come out. I'm not going to do it this way. I'm going to do it the safer way because I have the tool. All right, let's go ahead and get that pump out then. Again, I'm going to use this tool. See how there's a little piece that's inside of there? This tool has a point on it. I don't know why. Maybe for other transmissions or whatever it's good. So I'm just going to put this little nut on there so I don't damage it. I'm going to change the input shaft anyway with a billet heavy duty one, but still, I might need that or want it, or maybe I'll sell it. Anyway, put the groove on the stator there and just tighten her down. Get it to sit. Right, so now we have it positioned. So now as I tighten this, we should see the pump start to pull out. Oh yeah, no force whatsoever. You can see it's coming out. See it around the sides. Again, no force whatsoever. So if you're using the screwdriver method, again, just be careful. But in my particular case, hardly any force is necessary. And you can see that pump's coming out. Just keep turning. Keep her coming. And she's out now, so what I'll do is loosen up the tool. Take my nut off. And of course now the pump should come right up and out. Alright, make sure your washer stays behind. Okay, take your pump now, set it into a safe spot, and we'll take it apart. Oh, one thing you want to make sure also, right, we have the pump washer, but there's also this pump filter. Right, you want to make sure either A, it's left behind here, grab it, or it might still be in the pump. Make sure you don't drop it on the floor. Again, that's just a filter for the pump to keep out all the little garbage. And our gasket should come right out until it doesn't. And we'll clean this out later, of course. All right, we're going to move our thrust washer, selective one, so we won't want to lose that. Put it with our. And next we have the oil deflector plate. Just want to take that out. Again, put that on the side. That leaves us with our fourth clutch assembly right here. And you'll notice we have a snap ring, right? It's going all around the outside. What we want to do is remove that. I use just a regular screwdriver, cut a little tab out on the end, as you can see here. This is just a cheapo Harbor Freight one. I think it cost me like $1.99 or whatever, so it's nothing worth crying about for damaging, but it makes a nice tool. What we do is we grab the snap ring with this little groove and then give it a yank. Do you need to use this? Absolutely not. You could use the screwdriver just as itself. But again, here's the snap ring right down there. Just go ahead and grab it. You can see we have it. It's on the snap ring. And now notice it's in the little groove. So all we have to do, again, try not to block your viewpoint here. All we have to do is grab it, yank it around until she comes out. Right, and there's our fourth clutch gear snap ring. Again, keep these things in order as you're taking them out. You don't want to just randomly take stuff out, of course, not knowing where it is. That would certainly be a bad thing. Okay, now we have our overdrive section. What you want to do is just grab it by the shaft and lift it up, and it's all going to come out. So take it, jiggle it, and you can see the entire assembly comes out, right, along with your carrier. input shaft and all of your clutches for the 4th gear, the overdrive assembly. Go ahead and put that down. Then we have our ring gear. That simply pulls out. And you have our washer on the back, so don't lose that. Keep that all together. And it's easy just to install them right back where they came from, so that you know. Hey, keeping them all together again as one single unit. Next we have the 4th clutch return spring and retainer. They're actually held in right here by the snap ring. See, there's a snap ring right here. What we want to do is take snap ring pliers. I'm just using a big monster pair like these. You can use whatever you got. And what we're going to do is put it inside here and then squeeze outwards, however you phrase that, and the snap ring should come out. Could be a little tricky for us. Trying not to block our camera, of course. To get it partial way, you can just flip it off like so. Again, your hook comes in handy. Hook it all the way around till you get it snapped out, unsnapped, whatever word you like. Again, here's your snap ring and your spring and spring retainer should easily follow right after. Spring retainer, followed up by our retainer. And go ahead and put them aside. Next we have our snap ring that holds in our center support section, and we want to do is remove that. Again, it goes all the way around. What I'm gonna do is just wiggle it around, get into all your little grooves until she finally snaps out of there. Again, that's a very tight squeeze. Get in there with your snap ring pliers. Kind of make a handle and just go back and forth and pull up at the same time. You can see it comes out. That's your center support. You also have a washer, thrust washer. Put that back where it came from. Put that on our center support so we don't lose it. Now we have our direct drum and our forward clutch. They both should pull right up. So what we're going to do is grab it right here. Now you could use vice grips if you want, but honestly, I'm not a fan of grabbing things with vice grips because it just scratches them. Unless you put a towel around it, of course, like right here, but probably don't need to use that. Again, just carefully lift it out. You can see this is our direct drum and our forward clutch assembly. Okay, here's your direct drum, and here's your forward clutch assembly. Go ahead and put them back together. And we'll put them on the side for our storage. Alright, now we have our selective washer. Want to go ahead and just remove that. It's sitting inside of our output shaft. And we have a little snap ring that's holding the output shaft on. You can maybe see it right there. Just go ahead and use snap ring pliers. I'm using these particular. Pry it out. You can see we've got it. And just go around with this little screwdriver. I know it's kind of hard to see, but so we just went around, and that baby should pull right out of there, as you can see. So again, a little tricky to do, but do it with the snap ring pliers and then a small screwdriver, and it should come right out for you. Put that baby down. And again, we have our ring gear, and there's a washer right here also. This washer is selective, and this is just a thrust bearing, I guess. And we have our ring gear. Just spin it, pull it right out. Put your washers back where they were, so you know where they came from. And then of course we have our carrier right here. And again, just spin it around. It comes right out. I'm going to put mine back inside of the ring gear. This way we know where they are. And again, you have a Torrington bearing inside of the carrier, so put that in there as well. Again, don't want to lose things, get things out of order. The easier it is, put them back in. Let's give this a couple spins, and it's back in there with our bearing. Get in there, and our bearings here installed. Go ahead and put those on the side. After that, we have our sun gear. Okay, again, with your groove, I guess you can call it, down. Should be obvious anyway. Sun shell, sun gear, and of course our shell. We'll go ahead and replace this later. It has a snap ring on here holding it as well, just so you know. And you can take it out as an assembly, it's fine. And next we have a sun, I'm sorry, that's our output shaft. We have a snap ring holding our little reverse clutch in there. You want to get that out. There's also a bearing here. Leave that as is. Let's get our snap ring out. Easiest way again, of course, is to use our tool that we made. Get it behind the snap ring. Want to get that snap ring out, work it around. Get her out of there. Now we have our low reverse clutch, which is right down there. There's two tools for this. This is one tool, it's the one I prefer. Just stick this in the hole and stick that in. Usually you can find this on eBay. And there's the other one, the J tool. Looks kind of like this. Same concept, stick it in the hole and then turn the handle. So you would stick it in the hole and turn the handle, right? Stick it in the hole, turn the handle. Just a plastic one. I like the other one myself, the metal one. All you have to do in this case, take this, stick it in there. Oh, gotta get our washer out first. Always want to do that. Right, to take our metal part, stick it in there. Then we have the tool itself. Notice on the tool there's an arrow here. What you want to do is put the arrow in the slit. So the arrow in this slit, like so. And then what we're going to do is turn it like this, and then we're going to pull. It's going to be locked on. So this is just setting it up, and this is to actually lock it on. So stick it in the hole. Again, take your arrow, line it up with your slot. Go ahead and turn it. Here we go, so it's turned. Now we should be able to just pull it out. Honestly, I don't know if you can do this without having this tool or the plastic J tool, because it's got to come straight up. Give it a good twist and a pull straight up, and there she is. Comes out like a dream. Again, without using this tool, honestly, I don't really know if there's a way, because this thing has to come out. The low reverse has to come out perfectly straight. Alright, we're almost to the end. We have one more snap ring to get out, and then once we get the snap ring out, all we have to do is grab the output shaft and lift up, and everything should be done. And that'll be the end of our case disassembly. So again, use the screwdriver tool or whatever you've decided is best for you. And this snap ring's actually pretty light. Pulls right out of there. Like so. Very thin snap ring. And then at the same time, take your output shaft, and all you want to do is give that a good pull, and everything should come out with it. So all of our remaining ports come out with it, as you can see. That's our last assembly. Put that on the side on your workspace. You can see one more item down there. That's our speedometer gear, all the way down here. Right, straight down here. That blue gear down there, that's our speedometer gear. And that fits in the side of the case. So we'll have to go and pull that out as well. But that's it. So go ahead and inspect your case. Case should be in great shape. It's where I'm assembling all of my parts. You can see from front up to here. Then they came back here in this direction. And again, it just helps to do it that way to keep everything in order. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to disassemble and put in the new stuff for each one of the assemblies one by one. So again, it'll be easy to keep track and do things piece by piece, and also our inspection.